You just getting a feel good off somebody else living right. But if you in the flesh, you can't please God. Because in the midst of it, God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So you can't please him in the flesh. So you got to get out of the flesh to get in the spirit to please him.
Amen. Amen.
What verse we on now? I'm supposed to be quitting my now, right?
Verse 9.
Go on and finish that then too.
But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit.
That's the believer.
If so be that the Spirit of God dwell in you.
That's a big question right there. He said, you that are in God is not in the flesh, in the spirit. And then he put this word, if the spirit be in you. So he's telling them that don't have his spirit, it don't count for you. If you don't have his spirit, you in the flesh. But if you have his spirit, these things that I'm telling you about, they no longer have bearing with you because you are in the spirit. Y'all look at me funny tonight. But in the spirit is where God is great in our lives. That's why for 31 days, I'm telling you, I got to keep barking on this. Hallelujah. Because we get a feel good one day or 2 day, and then we just get lackadaisical and not knowing that this thing is a war for real for 31 days against yourself. And don't get tired until you break through all that you got to break through to get to what it is you know you need out of God. Can I get somebody right there just to clap their head and say, I'm not going to stop until I push my way all the way through to get out of God what I need out of God. Give me 2 more verses out of that and I quit.
Now if any man have not the Spirit of Christ, he is none of his.
So hold on, you saying, watch this, any of you in here that don't have his spirit, you don't belong to him. You don't like that, but I said it, because the Bible said it. He said, if you don't have his spirit, then you don't belong to him. Can you read that again? I want to hear it.
Now if any man have not the Spirit of Christ, he is none of his.
If any man have not the Spirit of Christ, then you is none of his. That's why we have to seek after God for his spirit. Even those that don't have his spirit, 31 days you can tarry, you can seek God's face until he baptizes and fill you with the Holy Ghost. And when God fill you with it, you're going to know you got it. You ain't going to need pastor to tell you. You ain't going to need nobody. When you get it, you're going to speak with other tongues as the Spirit of God giveth thee utterance. Can I get somebody? A lot of you ain't clapping because you think you have something you don't have. But I'm telling you, you got to seek him until when he pour it out in your body and pour it out in your mind and pour it out in your spirit, he'll fill you up till it'll come out of your mouth. And when it come out of your mouth, it'll come out with utterance.
Yes.
I want him to have ownership over me because I want his spirit to even abide in me the more. So if you don't have it, you ain't his. And to clear that up, because someone look at me funny, let me just put it this way. God is the God of all flesh. He's the God of all flesh. But watch this, watch this. He's God of all flesh, but he's not everybody's father. He's got to be God over all flesh because he created all flesh. But to be his sons, we have to be born of his spirit. So he's not the father of everybody. He's the God of all flesh. But in order for him to be your father, you must be born of his spirit. And when we get that spirit, the Bible said it's going to cry out Abba, which is Father. So that's a witness that everybody that don't have the spirit that cries out Abba, which is Father, then God ain't your father. He's your God, and he's giving you time as a God to get yourself in a position so he can begot you as a father. Can I get somebody that's ready to grow into a place where God can take fathership over you and you take sonship in his spirit? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Glory to God. Where we at now?
Verse 10.
10. Close out right there.
And if Christ be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the spirit is life because of righteousness.
If God be in you, the body is what?
Dead.
Dead. And the spirit is what?
Life.
Life.
Because of righteousness.
Because of righteousness. Now we have to start living in the spirit. If you're not living in the spirit, you're not living at all. Because to live in the Spirit is to live into life and righteousness. And that's what God is calling us to. That's why I told you to make time. I didn't open the doors. I didn't put on all whites to go through the ritual of something that was going to interrupt your comfortability. But I want you now to build your altar at home, so you can get God in your house. Because whatever's in your house, you bring to God's house. So build you an altar at the house where you stay at. Get your prayer life right there. Get the power of God to manifest itself in your house. And then when you come here, it'll make preaching easy, because we already didn't establish a walk with God before we got here. Some of us trying to establish a walk in church. No, your walk is graded when you leave here. It's what you're doing when you're not here. It's what God is grading. Get an altar, 31 days. Seek him like never before. Challenge yourself. There's still areas in me I want to challenge. I want to challenge every area in me that need to be challenged for what God is finna do. I got to make preparation for him, that when he do it, it won't mess me up later.